Alright, everybody, welcome back. We got a nice little break. Hopefully, you've got your popcorn, you got your drinks, you got your feet up, and we can watch. Well, first, have a nice little finalist interview, but then we're gonna move into our best of 7 between Blodir and Randy. Yeah, both of them are in channel here with us, and we get to ask some questions. And I think for me, there's one question that comes to mind immediately, and that's Blodir. Are you now afraid of mine layers? Are you prepared for mine layers?
Sure. That's actually so toxic. I can't believe it. Like, I didn't realize that there could be something more toxic than the calm transport, the tier 1 calm transport. But yeah, this is maybe not worse, but it's pretty bad. Like, it's like completely RNG. There's nothing you can do other than see it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like when it's played. Right.
I mean, you could escort your commander with a mine layer.
Does that even work? Isn't the mine layer going to be behind the commander? Does that even work? I don't know the range of the.
Well, Otto used the mine layer to clear mines on the.
Yeah, but I mean like behind a commander, right? Isn't the range going to be too big? Like, won't the commander step on the mines before the mine? I don't even know. Like, I've never seen or thought about this in a competitive tournament format, right? Like, it's. I don't know. I bet. It's something to worry about. Randy, you got to be feeling pretty good.
Like probably. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say it's probably not gonna be an issue because you just send one scout there, right? Like to see it.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking. I think Sheep pointed that out in chat, and it was like, yeah, you know what? That does make sense. If you see the mine layer, okay, and Slick and I were talking about this between the game. Otto continuing to walk forward into the mines is kind of crazy. Like, shouldn't you just like freeze your commander? Like, you see the heavy mines. Maybe he's hoping there's not more, but continuing to walk there is clearly just going to die.
Well, nobody expects the double attempt. Everybody just thinks it's the one pair of mines and that's it.
That's true.
Yeah, so.
Well, Randy, you gotta be feeling pretty good after that, huh? Like, I know if you saw the prediction video that Barkas Volshock and I did, a lot of us had you going out in the semis, right? Or no, the quarters even. But no, the semis. Yeah, I'm losing my mind. Wow, but you've got to be feeling pretty good going all the way to the finals now.
Yeah. Just still coming down from that crazy series. Adrenaline was spiking very hard, but yeah, I'm happy. There was a few fist pumps after that 5th game.
I don't doubt it, but yeah, man, Barkas, you got any questions for these guys?
Maybe some predictions. That's like, I guess, the most generic one. On what you think the match score would be. I know it's a best of 7 this time. So Andy, you have any thoughts on the predictions for the series?
I don't know, but all I can promise is a bit of chaos.
Excellent answer.
That's
Blodir,
a scary answer. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's an absolutely brutal cop out. I think I will win, but I don't know how many games it's gonna go at all.
I think
that's all the questions I had prepared. So.
I mean, look,
I have a
what
question.
you did.
Can I get a question?
Oh yeah, of course.
Last time Randy challenged Blodir to do the first game in voice channels. Are we gonna see that around this time?
You want to do it?
I can't. What? Say that again. Sorry.
It
Last
wouldn't make
time
any
you-
sense, right? Because you couldn't cast it then.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, you can still be in VC amongst yourselves.
But then we don't get to hear the craft talk, man. That's not the same. Ugh.
Don't want to risk the sound of mine layer leaking through my headset and giving me away.
No, yeah, good point.
What has been your favorite match or series of the tournament so far, Blodir?
Like, well, I don't know, Raxel versus X Factor, because I was really hoping that Raxel would win, so it was like kind of edge of my seat. I thought that Raxel was gonna win after the first 2 games.
Guys, you might want to boost Blodir a bit. He's very silent.
Really quiet. Wait, hold on.
No. You're actually perfect right now. You were quiet, like very quiet when you came in, but you are fine now, or at least you seem fine looking at OBS.
Right.
But
We're good.
Look.
Intermission is over now.
Look, no. Everybody's forgetting. Look, we got a 3-minute delay. All right, I know you guys get to catch
Alright.
up to when the the changes happen. But yeah, I mean, I guess do we have any more questions for our two finalists, or do we want to let them get in there?
Yeah, they can do the picks and bans on VC if that works for you.
Cool. All right. Well, let's swap over to the best of 7 screen. Nobody saw that. Volshock, don't say it.
So is it just ban then all picks? Or...
Let me double check the Discord. Yeah, it's
yes, looks like it.
2 bans, all picks, yeah.
And I guess you're the number 1 seed, so do you want to start off, Mr. Blodir?
Wait, so 2 bans and the rest are picks? I mean,
One ban.
1 ban each. Yeah, 1 ban.
Yeah,
One
one
ban.
ban each.
Right, I ban Red Comet.
I will ban Eye of Horus.
Thank you.
Horrible map.
Yeah, actually, just complaining about how it was just like totally RNG. With both the wind and the rains. But anyway, Arxim Cats Valley,
Okay.
a good friend.
Then we'll do Into Battle.
Hold up. Wait, what did you ban again?
He banned
Eye of
Horus.
Horus.
Horrors. Yeah. That's right.
If you
Getting a
look
bit
at
tired there, buddy.
Yeah, I was falling asleep over here. It was so easy against X Factor. So,
Oh my heck! Wow, gauntlet thrown.
Postpiles.
Okay. Do Pools 4th.
Ooh.
It's been interesting to see that map like end up as the 5th map. It's like players don't want to pick it, but they don't ban it either. So.
Let's go CCR.
I'll do High Noon 6, and then leftover will be Canis.
All right, we have our maps.
Wait, was it Arxim Cats, Into Battle, Postpiles, Pool, CCR, High Noon, Canis?
Exactly.
Alright, very good.
Man, I'm ready. I'm ready for this. Are we good to get going, Barcast? What are you thinking?
Yeah, that's good.
All right, so most of you, players, but both Blodir and Randy, good luck with your games. I imagine you're both ready to play this, and you're a bit excited to get into it. But
Yeah, good luck, Blodir.
Thank you,
Watch your step.
it's so unsettling. Oh my god.
Alright, good luck, Randy. Please, no more mind layers, okay?
Oh man. All right. So we again, we rotated our casters around for this next set between our finalists. You actually have Barcast and Slick being our 2 wonderful casters. So I'm gonna hand it off to them and let them go ahead and discuss a little bit of this and the warm up to this game.
Yeah, so we're back. The same players as 2 months ago. I think it's 2 months ago. Blodir versus Randy. And I already see so many things. Like Puzavilis is in here again. Are we going to see Randy of the Lake again? I'm going to relive so many moments. It would be... I predict a 7-game series. I just want to say that. I think these guys are going to take it long.
Yeah, one can hope, right?
Mm-hmm.
Blodir yawning there, I guess in the interview, something like that. Maybe showing a little bit of sleepiness, tiredness. I'm wondering if that'll end up affecting his play the farther we go into the series. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, It is getting a little bit late in Europe. It should be 9 p.m. for Blodir, 8 p.m. for Randy.
Slick, do you have predictions yourself for how this series will go? I know you just said it will go to Game 7, but like, who do you think will end up taking it down?
Oh my god, last time we decided to not predict the winner because of the caster curse, but let's do it this time. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna say Randy. Yeah, I'm gonna stand behind Randy. Blodir is a very solid player, but Randy is so creative. And I think it's really hard to react to creative plays you've never seen before, especially when you're under so much pressure. And I think
Right.
Randy will utilize that for the win.
Yeah, it's very hard to predict how he'll open in matches, like whether he's like aggressive or even where he spawns for that matter. So if you can catch Blodir off guard in a couple of games here and there, could see him taking it down myself.
Yeah. All right, and there we go. For game 1, we find ourselves on Arxim Cats. Now, last game on Arxim Cats, we obviously saw the double heavy mine commander snipe for an otherwise completely disadvantageous game for Randy. He used that trick to win the game and save himself from a very, very losing position. What do you think is gonna happen this game? Do you have predictions for how both players are gonna open?
I would say Blodir is going to open Cortex bots here. He's been favoring that a lot recently. I've seen in his practice games. I'd imagine Andy will do something pretty similar to the last game, maybe with a slight adjustment. I noticed he was going like really con heavy at the very start of the game, and I think he took a little bit too much damage than he would have wanted to in the series versus Autopilot.
Yeah. Yeah, Blodir loves that 2 max Cortex bot opener. We see him queue it up again, exactly queued up. Yeah, I personally not a fan of bots on this map. I think you get punished too much for having these slowly moving cons. But Blodir has been making it work, so.
Yeah, it's got some advantages. I'd say defending your plateau against scouts is a little bit easier if you just park a couple of grunts on all the ramps. You can like easily kind of lock that down and get yourself set up. You also have access to the energy and rock reclaim. Not that you can't do that with vehicle cons, but of course you can just go res bot first and just run back to those trees and grab the energy.
Yeah. Yeah, there's 230 metal in the starting area. It doesn't show up on the HUD.
Right.
But yeah.
Which is a pretty decent amount. I mean, it more than pays for the res bot, and then you have, of course, the added utility of having it out in case you do lose one of those expanding cons. You can quickly pick it back up. If the mech goes down, you can resurrect that as well. So no surprise to see Blodir doing that here.
Yeah, Randy on the other hand, opening Cortex vehicles on 3 mexes, the fully standard. Build expected 4 cons on the queue though. Very greedy. The same level of greed we saw in his series versus Autopilot very recently.
This is really smart, and I think it's a nod to how Andy understands Blodir's approach to this map. I mean, those slow-moving grunts take a long time to get across the map, and he's just perfectly happy to, use this super greedy open, and I don't think he's going to get punished for it.
Right, yeah. Like, against a vehicle player, 4 cons will most likely get you punished, but against grunts, you can probably get away with it.
Yeah, we can see Blodir actually just opening 2 grunts after his first con even and playing defensive with them, so this is really playing into Andy's hands right now.
Yeah, great read. I agree.
Gonna be curious to see if Blodir actually decides to expand with his commander after that series versus Autopilot. It's been so popular on this map. I know you're not a big fan of it, but I want to, if I remember correctly, Blodir was using that with this open.
Well, yeah, we'll see. Maybe he brings a grunt, or like a grunt scouts the path forward. But that's very APM intensive. I don't know. It will be interesting to see how players solve this, because it's a very unique problem, the double heavy mine snipe.
Yeah, and perhaps Blodir is even trying to, stop this before it even gets started. You see these couple of grunts heading right up to the north side of the map that could cut off the path of a potential early mine layer heading to that top right corner. So maybe he's just going to sweep through here, clear out the area, make sure that we don't get a repeat of what happened in the last series.
Yeah, I can still hear the menacing "watch your step" warning. That's
yeah.
just... Chills.
Yeah, pretty spooky for Halloween season here. So
Yeah, Randy keeping it on theme, that's for sure. But yeah, the first scouts, the first rovers are rascals are finally out on the map, and Blodir must be very curious. Why are these rascals so late? 3 minutes into the game, the first one showing up. Do you think he's gonna correctly assume that Randy went for a very greedy con opening?
It's hard to know, honestly. Like, Randy is such a hard player to pin down. I'd imagine he might have some inclination of that, but of course, playing vehicles, it's very important to defend yourself on that plateau and make sure you're not taking any kind of like counter damage. So perhaps it's just, you know, Andy playing a little snug and defensive first few moments before he gets those LLTs set up on those cliffs. So
Yeah, we see the 4 grunts that Blodir sent out. They're gonna arrive just in time. That LLT goes up for Randy. Like, great timing. And no damage will be done so far.
yeah, it looks like Andy got away with this open. We see he's got a pretty healthy metal produced lead, actually up 22% already into this game. And imagine that he'd be able to maintain that lead for now. I see his commander is a little bit farther forward, but he has yet to move expanding cons down off that plateau.
Yeah, he doesn't actually have... He made 4 cons. 2 of them are staying on the lab. 1 of them is making wins, and actually 2 of them... Yeah, all 4 are doing some other eco task other than expanding.
Yeah, you know, this is pretty smart. It can be a bit difficult on this wide open map to defend yourself like exactly correctly versus these grunts, because your vehicles versus bots, you kind of have fewer units in this early game. So defending those expanding cons can actually be a bit tricky. Andy has...
Randy's degunning on repeat. Did he disconnect? He's burning through... Oh my god, he dig on the ground like 10 times. He's burned through his entire energy stash. I'm not sure what happened there. His commander wasn't even on repeat.
Yeah, maybe a bit of nerves here coming out from Andy in this first game of the finals. But these incisors are moving down off the hill. Gonna clear out this expansion path first con. And I do hear a mine layer queued up, actually.
Oh.
Shot at that? I thought I heard one, excuse me.
It doesn't seem like there's one, but yeah. No pressure on Blodir's side. We have to keep that in mind. He's expanding very, very aggressively down from the high ground. He has 3 constructors going forward. His commander obviously now caught up with Randy.
Mm-hmm. That is one advantage, I'd say, over opening bots, because there's so many different expansion paths. You can get these cheaper yet slower moving cons expanding on all these separate directions. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him switch into vehicles here, though, very soon.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think... Yeah, great engagement here for Randy. A lot of grunts gonna go down. But yeah, I don't think you can stay on grunts very long, right? You want to switch into incisor at some point.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. You know, a single grunt can... I don't think it'll exactly kill these 2 cons, but you have to protect these expanding vehicle cons because they're just so slow to get out onto the field, where, you know, past that plateau you spawn on. And if you take one down, it can sit you so far behind economically.
A nice little bit of micro here by Blodir. Manages to actually circumvent both incisors and snipes the mix. Good value from 1 grunt.
Really nice catch there. We see Blodir trying to pressure here on the top mid side of the map. Andy's got enough incisors in position to to protect those expanding cons.
Oh, a nice catch here from Blodir. Gets the jump on 5 incisors, kills 4 of them. It seems like he only lost 1 grunt for his troubles. Very, very advantageous engagement.
Yeah, that's what you definitely do not want to have happen. Grunts are atrociously bad versus incisors stacked up like that, unless you can get that flanking damage and the jump on them. So really nice catch there from Blodir.
Yeah, and they can all be rezzed. That's the thing. You never want to drop Rex on the other side when you're playing against a bot player. And there we go. He goes in to res them right now.
I'm a bit worried for Andy's position here. He's got these 4 cons in mid, and there's just like no incisors here right now. So at least 2 of them I can imagine going down. Maybe even 3. He's got to start an LLT right away with those 2 on the south side.
Yeah, very good damage. 2 cons go down. That's huge.
With the loss, see a bit of an engagement here on bottom. Andy catching out this expanding con, takes out the LLT. This con is going to try and do a citizen's arrest on this incisor, but ends up getting taken out. And here are the incisors from Blodir. So he did switch into vehicles himself. More mexes going down here from Blodir, so getting some nice value out of these grunts that have frankly kind of, you know, past their utility in the game. I'd expect him to be just trying to, you know, throw these away, find any kind of damage he can get, and I don't think he's done finding it. I see a bunch of naked mexes here and radars behind his front line here to raid, so more damage coming out from Blodir.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's any defending army in position. He's going to be able to kill all those mexes except for that one armed exploder. I suspect is going to survive, but that's huge damage, and it hurts so much because as the vehicle player, there's no fast option to re-get all these mexes back.
Yeah, short of going for like an aircon, something like that, trying to, you know, pick back up these early mexes. I wouldn't be surprised if either player transitions into air here pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
See Blodir expanding with a con to the top right side of the map, so definitely not risking putting his commander there where potentially he could have some heavy mines. Is Andy gonna lose these cons to an exploder? Okay.
All right, calculated, not even close.
Yeah, right. And there's enough incisors here to take this trade, so he's gonna shoo away the 2 expanding cons from Blodir. He's gonna get control of this middle mex here and start an armed exploder. Meanwhile, on the other side, more mexes going down, just a few grunts slipping through, grabbing this naked expansion from Andy.
Yeah, Blodir doing a great job of sneaking grunts here and there and grabbing so many naked mexes, picking them off one by one.
Yeah, armed exploiter here is going to end up go down along with the radar here, so pretty decent bit of harassment from Andy, sniping a resbot even, grabbing yet another armed exploiter, so definitely getting some nice counter damage here in mid.
Yeah, we see a not so small reclaim field forming here in the middle. 1,000 metal on the ground. Both players have cons here already. Are gonna start putting down some static defenses, and I presume that a fight is gonna break out over here very, very soon.
Yeah, that can be a tough part about this game is, you know, choosing when to really commit to an attack. It's like these reclaim fields can like get bigger, and like you're contesting the reclaim field, you're just adding more Rex to it. So you're kind of like forcing your hand in a way, like just having to fight over an area that, you know, frankly, if a big enough reclaim field goes to your opponent, I mean, they can make a T2 transition easily if they like. They can just bank that metal up, print more tanks. But
Oh, we see a huge flank here on the north from Blodir. He ran his units instead of contesting mid. He said, "I have enough LTs there. I'm just gonna run my units through the river," and he's gonna flank this entire expansion. One exploder goes down. The second one is about to go down, and I'm curious if he goes any deeper. Obviously, I think this happened because Randy switched to brutes. They're slow to reinforce the flanks, and he's kind of focusing the middle. It looks like he's gearing up for a big mid scuffle.
that's right. I can see, like, you know, a good 10-12 brutes there in mid already. As soon as they group up together, he's going to be able to make a big dedicated attack there. He already has build power in position to contest the reclaim, and it looks like this little raid from Blodir is going to get cleaned up. Twin guard already here for Blodir, same for Andy, but we can see he's getting some build power set up. He's going to be making this forward bot lap, presumably to make some res bots. Looks like he's just going to camp these medium tanks right in front of these units, clear out these LLTs, and just you know, add more metal to this reclaim field. The pounder does show up for Blodir, so these incisors are going to have a tough time taking some decent trades against that.
So many brutes already here from Randy, and he keeps just streaming them forward. He switched to brutes early. He has the better unit for this type of fight, right? Like Blodir still has a lot of incisor and a lot of grunt left over, but brutes is like kind of what you want. This is looking really good for Randy.
Yeah, I like Andy's position. He actually has some defending incisors here already, so I can't imagine this counter push getting too much damage. Looks like he rebuilt one of the LLTs, so that might be enough to anchor this defense. I'm a bit worried for this position here in mid. I mean, Blodir does have a couple of res spots already on the front line, but I mean, these brutes just have to go a little bit farther forward, kind of shoo them away so Andy can contest this reclaim field. I see he's made his own res bot now, starting some thug production.
Yeah, this is a very, very situation to be in. If you're Blodir, your opponent is sitting on top of the reclaim field. He already has build power and a lap down, but we see Shuri's coming in. Blodir with the air transition is going to go into stun. No anti-air available for Randy. No air transition from him as well. No missile trucks, no nettles, nothing. And Blodir's just going in after stunning so much army.
Yeah,
Rezzing in the back of this as well.
A couple nettles did manage to come out. We see one anti-air turret was produced here. The tanks on the top side are being stunned right now, but there's really no army on top of them to clear them out.
It seems like this wasn't enough actually for Blodir. He just went in, added more bodies to the pile that was already in Randy's control. And now that the AA is out, Randy is just comfortably like sitting with more army value on top of this huge wreck.
So you're just a conga line of tanks moving across the map here. Andy's not committing any tanks to the top or bottom flanks. He's just focusing all of his units right now, trying to, you know, contest this reclaim, punch a hole through Blodir's defenses. And if he's able to get past this little army, he can start raiding those expansions, you know, along the top mid, bottom mid.
Yeah, both players just bringing all of the units to middle. That's the only fight that matters right now. 4,000 metal almost on the ground. We see Blodir walling off the flanks. Absolutely zero combat unit on any flanks. Just a few pounders parked here and there. Both players realizing this reclaim field is worth fighting over with everything you got.
Yeah, it looks like Blodir decided to reclaim that air lab for now. He's just going to focus all of his resources into, you know, committing to this huge fight in middle that's going on right now. Andy seems to have the upper hand. He's pushing forward with his tanks, buying some space for these res bots behind that, and he's not going for reclaim. He's just resing.
Yeah, I mean, Randy doesn't even need to push. He just needs to make sure he's still controlling the area and, you know, buys enough time for the res bots to get to work and start that snowball rolling. We see more shuriken come out now out of Blodir. I'm wondering if he's going to go for another shuriken play.
Yeah, Andy's commander right now is a little bit exposed. I don't think Blodir can commit too much to maybe going after that position, considering he's also walling it off with his own con. But I mean, this push in mid is gonna decide the game. Honestly, now we're up to 5 res bots on the front line for Andy. He's still buying space, putting on so much pressure right now. Going after his wind farms, even somehow they ended up here below the plateau.
Yeah. It's actually really interesting. Neither player going for pounders to fight this, and I think it's because of what happened on Pools of Illis, right? Like, they just saw the pounders not being very effective into these big wreck fights, but I think they're underdoing it.
Yeah, just a few would be nice to kind of anchor your position. You can, you know, slowly start kiting backward, pushing forward with your own medium tanks. But it looks like Blodir ended up getting the numbers advantage here. He's gonna start pushing forward, but Andy shows up with some reinforcements, 12 more brutes, grabbing this flank.
Yeah, and Randy drops a tier 2 Cortex bot lab on his front position where he has the build power already set up. That is a very interesting play. I don't know, would you do something like that?
I don't know. I think you really just have to commit more to this reclaim field. Looks like he's switching to reclaiming here with the res bots instead of resing. Blodir, on the other hand, comfortably sitting behind that front line with about 10 or 12 res bots. Resing, I don't know if he's got the economy for this. Andy's doing a nice job trying to buy some time, you know, slipping through some medium tanks, grabbing a few mexes and LLTs, but if Andy can get away with this forward bot lab, what is going to be the unit what is this?
Sumos.
Sumos. Sumos
Yeah,
are
Sumos
very
are really
strong against like in like a defensive position.
But I don't know if I trust in the sumo play here. They're so slow and so low range. It just seems like you can kite them forever. At the same time, that little run by on the south from Randy gets shuriken and get taken away still. He got a nice distraction and 1 metal extractor for his troubles. But yeah, back to the sumos. They're extremely energy expensive. We can see even with good wind, Randy is struggling to produce them. They also take a lot of energy to fire. I would have expected maybe something like a bedbug here. Instead, he pivots now into spybot. Now that I like.
Same energy issue. Spybot's very expensive right now. Enough, you know, looking at the main bases on the minimap, looks like Blodir's done a much better job scaling energy. He's got quite a few wind farms set up. I don't quite see that same thing from Andy, so it's down about 300 energy per second and hasn't even taken the geo yet. That has to be a mistake.
Now we see 100 Sheldon on the queue. Honestly, it's so interesting for me to just look at the queue on this lab. Yeah, 100 Sheldon. That's I'm not sure how many of them will actually materialize, and I'm not sure how effective they will be. I'm actually really, really curious. I don't think we've seen this situation many times.
Yeah, it's... I mean, the couple of sumos will like anchor this position for Andy. You can't quite push into them. They kind of remind me of like a welder or the pounder, right? You just never want to give them that good engagement that they want. Is like you pushing into them, right? So Andy's gonna walk these forward. He's gonna catch a couple of the res bots out. He's got a spy bot in the mix here. But I'm looking at Blodir's main base. Looks like he's building up a bombing run right now. So if Andy doesn't respond to this in time.
Yeah, huge spybot explosion going off, but that's not enough. Just so many vehicles from Blodir. He's just going in, recognizes that there's a tier 2 right here on the front, most likely. Sheldon's not going to be very effective at stopping a mass brute attack. And Blodir's also exposing the flanks. Going in from both flanks, going to catch some res bots, going to kill some nexus. That's a very, very interesting fight we got going on right now.
Yeah, and he was busy dealing with a flank earlier from Blodir on the left side, and there's another one from Blodir going up top. He's trying to rotate in here against this T2 lab. Fiends coming in, self-dealing on these brutes. I don't think they're going to be able to push in. And suddenly this reclaim field has gotten even larger, but it's very close to Andy's production here.
Yeah, that's a lot of reclaim right next to the build power. That's usually never good, right? Randy will be able to comfortably take this, but I'm looking at this massive brute attack on the north. And we have to remember, when you make a front lab like this, it's really hard to protect your flanks. And I don't know how Randy's gonna protect this flank. It's 23 brutes, and he's panic making pounders in his main base. But is he gonna be able to make enough? Most likely, actually.
It's gonna be really close here. If you can get them in position to, you know, kind of cut these brutes off from rotating on the top side of the map. We still got this fight going on in mid. Just so many tanks going on, and you know, Blodir's made his own T2 transition himself. See Azar being made in. It's being flown out actually to this front line, so this should shut down this push. I don't know, Sheldon's do decent against ours, right? But you kind of have to protect them, of course, right?
Yeah, you have to micro them well also. In one misstep and you lose all of your Sheldons. But bombing run now goes in for Blodir. No anti-air available in Randy's base. Panic making Whistler right now, panic making Thistles. All of his wins are very, I would say, convenient to bomb. Blodir's going and got a full scout. This is going to be a very, very good bombing run. So many wins go down, and he looks like he's going to be able to get the wraparound.
Yeah, even desperately trying to make some twin guards here to defend himself against these medium tanks, and he's not putting his pounders in position, so more of these wins are going to go down. And looks like this position is going to get surrounded here. This T2 lab is going to go down.
Randy's main base is ravaged. The tier 2 lab is going down. Army value 85% in favor of Blodir. I don't know. This is looking very scary for Randy. Almost like a GG moment, I would say.
Yeah, T2 lab goes down. There's so many medium tanks here. This commander is caught out, and he's going to tap out. So game one going to Blodir.
Has died.
What an action-packed game.
Yeah. Man, that T2 lab feels like a mistake. I mean, if he just committed a little more, maybe moved his vehicle lab to the front as well, just continue to contest that reclaim field, and then once you've pushed a little bit past those hills, you can start rotating tanks around and like clearing out those side expansions from Blodir. So I think a bit of a mistake there from Andy.
Yeah, myself, personally, I love making front tier 2 labs in 1v1. But it's always really tricky protecting your flanks, and we saw Blodir exploit that weakness very well. Even though Randy did manage to originally secure that huge reclaim field in the middle, after that I feel like Blodir played it very well. So yeah, well played, and game one goes to Blodir.
Yeah, going up game one in the series has to feel great for Blodir here, kind of seizing the momentum in the series. Andy's gonna have to pull it back here. We're going into the map he picked, into Battle Redux, which is one of the smaller maps in the pool. What would you have to say about this map? Slick?
I think it's very different from. I think this map and Red Comet are kind of in a category of their own, where they're a lot more about the decisions you make, the units you choose, the positions you take, right, and not so much about the pure reflex 1v1 gameplay that we're usually used to with all the raiding and stuff. We had a fantastic game on Into Battle between Sash and Autopilot that went into late tier 2. We saw a lot of usage of static tier 2 defenses, something you barely ever see in 1v1. So this map definitely has the potential to deliver a great game.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. That series, Sash versus Autopilot, was... I mean, the game's definitely delivered despite the score. And like you're referencing, the game they played on Into Battle, I mean, I didn't even know this map could go to T2, but somehow they showed us that. And like you're saying, yeah, T2 static defenses on those high grounds, kind of pressuring, I guess, both players' mains, frankly. I think we saw Artie go up on both sides of those two hills in the middle. Like a very positional map, right? Like you're saying, like it's more about like the decision making and like where your army is in relation, because it's a lot different than a traditional 1v1 like macro map that we see and like players kind of leaning towards, where you know you can get this huge economy, you get just tons and tons of win scaling, right? It's more about like getting into a solid position, right, and kind of building off of that from there.
Yeah, it's almost reminds me of like an 8v8 style game, like this very tiny map. You get to see so many more of these units that usually they never show up in 1v1, like rocket bots, even like vehicle artillery, stuff like that. So yeah, very, very interesting, and would love to see if these guys can take it late as well.
I'd imagine both players opting to spawn Cortex here. I guess, no, Andy, excuse me, still is rolling random throughout the tournament, so kind of crazy to see. I wonder how his game plan would change if he ends up rolling Arm here over Cortex.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised he feels comfortable rolling random. Like, I would have guessed that when you're in the finals, it's going to be so much about preparation and precise builds you've cooked up for maps, but Randy just feels comfortable rolling random and playing whatever faction he gets. That's very surprising to me, and I respect it.
I mean, considering the meta's been like so grunt heavy, Centurions do perform well, especially on a map that's got just like, you know, I guess 3 choke points technically in the middle. I mean, if grunts do kind of spill out and you kind of have to run and catch them, Centurions are going to be pretty terrible at that, I'd imagine. But if he does roll Arm, I'd imagine we'd see those units come out.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to, right? Otherwise, the grunts are gonna slowly cook you alive. All right.
Both players winding down the clock here, pulling themselves together. I can't imagine just like losing game 1, you know, affected Andy too much. We saw him actually just do that reverse sweep in the previous series, which was pretty insane. Honestly, you couldn't ask me to name a player who could do that to autopilot, but somehow Andy managed it, and looks like we have something
Oh my god.
very different here.
I think this is going to be 0 mech ticks. I've seen this before. Wind, solar, lab. We're going to see some really fast ticks. Pawn first, then 3 ticks is the cue from Randy. Can he even afford a pawn?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think you can make just a few before you start running out of metal, but I'd like to see the pawn first. You kind of front load that movement time across the map, and the ticks can catch up to the pawn. Blodir playing even greedy here, so going for this 3 mechs open, so Andy definitely has the counter to this. The pawn is already out on the map moving across, and Blodir hasn't even started his first, or his factory.
That's going to be that's probably the best case scenario if you're Randy right now. You're hoping your opponent is doing no LLT, 3 mechs, late lab, right? Yeah, I mean, those are probably ideal conditions for where you're going for. With that being said, I don't know, like, how much damage does Randy need to get done to be even with this start?
Well, we can see Blodir's already up about 200 metal right there. He's got double the metal income. Looks like Andy did move into capping his mechs as well. These units are heading across the map, and here comes the first couple of units, so we'll have to see what does Andy choose to prioritize here.
Blodir chooses to stick with his con. Yeah, boosts his con out instead of switching to a grunt after seeing the ticks already in his base. Solar's turned off, so he actually doesn't have the energy to afford this con.
I think the second solar is going to go down even. Yeah, so first, I mean, Blodir's desperately trying to repair it now. He's switching between repairing the mechs and the solar here.
Randy keeps tapping the other solar with his stick to make sure it's turned off. First solar goes down. Now the con gets focused by the pawn. This pawn is so dangerous. The grunt comes out of the lab. Randy tried to focus it, couldn't actually get the hits while it was still walking out. And I think this is still pretty good damage. I don't know, would you say Randy managed to do enough damage to be ahead?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he turned off the solars for so long. He's, okay, dancing between attacking the wind turbine and solar. Andy did make a small mistake though. He had that tick kind of AFKing on that first mech he took down on the left side of Blodir's base, but all in all, I'd say very good attack. Great position to be in for Andy. You see he's making a LLT to defend his main base right now, getting out some more cons. He's going to prepare for this counterattack from Blodir, so, I mean, okay, looks like he's doubling back with his commander to make an additional LLT.
Yeah, but like the follow-up was 4 cons. Actually canceled the 4th one, decided to only go for 3. Yeah, I've seen players like Kuchi experiment with builds like this. You go extremely fast Armada units before even mixes, and then you go for a lot of cons on the back. And I think Randy just showed that it can work really well.
Yeah, that's something I've been, told by a lot of, great players is you kind of have to swing that pendulum between aggression and greed, right? So if you open up with those, like, you know, super fast pawns and ticks, put your opponent on the back foot, get them in a weak position, and then you just play greedy behind it. So really great transition from Randy, you know, kind of macroing out of this no mech start. I'd say that's been like my biggest challenge trying to use this build myself, is just what do you do when you ran out of metal and you have like nothing, right? But Andy's, you know, clearly showing it's more than capable of choosing these opens and macroing out of it.
Yeah, he's got 2 cons expanding. The commander's pretty far ahead in the expansion path as well. It seems like he's gonna, you know, be up in eco soon, and he's still doing a very good job distracting with these sticks.
Ooh. Almost gets a couple of more taps on those solars. It's really devastating to actually have your economy turned off. It's just like a single hit turns off that 20 energy per second for a moment, and we can see Blodir stalling on energy right now, so he's trying to fix that for now. He's making some wind turbines with his cons in his main base. I'm sure he'd love to be just assisting that lab right now, churning out those grunts.
Yeah, we see Centurion already on the queue from Randy. He's working on those. He is stalling a little bit though. I don't know, this early Centurion, do you think it's a good idea? It looks really scary.
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, we saw what happened in that series with Autopilot and playing ARM bots versus Cortex spots. You know, these high-level players, they know how to kite with the grunts, they know how to take engagements, and you will just never be able to take a proper engagement if they're you know, on top of their micro. So getting out these early Centurions, I think it's a great idea. It's going to lock down his expansions. It's going to lock down these defending cons.
This first Centurion is so slow. These 5 grunts managed to actually slip in. The LT not done yet. I think Blodir is on top of this LT way too fast. He's gonna kill it, especially because Randy wasn't actually repairing, but no cons will go down. Just the mechs and the LT. It looks like a little bit of an APM stall as well. Alright, I feel like this could have maybe been a little bit scarier. At the same time, an engagement on the top side, a few pawns run into the defending grunts of Blodir, but will end up going down without really doing any damage. Maybe just delaying the con a little bit.
Great micro here out of Blodir. Really not losing too many grunts. I mean, the pawns got the best engagement they could, but you can just see like how oppressive it can be to fight against these grunts.
Yeah, Randy
loses 2 for free.
The caster curse.
Yeah.
So strong. Yeah, but we're looking at 10 mil extractors for Blodir versus 9 mil extractors for Randy. So it seems like Blodir has caught up in expansion actually, and even though Randy did very well with the early damage, I feel like this game is still anybody's at this point.
I do like Andy's position. He did this like little commander walk along the left side of the map, so he's buttoned up that, you know, choke point for now. I think there's just 1 LOT there, so that should be able to defend it against the couple of grunts we see Blodir heading along the left side of the map. But I mean, this Centurion is just anchoring this expanding cons, right? I mean, you can't really engage the Centurion with, you know, 4 or 5 grunts. Just not going to work out. They're too beefy. They outrange them. They out DPS them. They got so much health.
Yeah, and everywhere else you have LTs, which are also great against grunts. And we actually see another transition from Randy. He's going into 100 maces right now. It seems like he's going to go for a big push through the middle, is what we often see on this map. As I'm saying that, Blodir manages to get a mix for himself on the south. Good
yeah,
pickup.
really nice catch. It's going to force Andy to either, you know, double back and retake that, or produce a res bot, which I'd imagine he'd eventually want some of those out. So not the worst loss in the world. But, you know, trading a grunt for a max, I'd take that trade any day.
Yeah. Damn good deal. We see Randy actually struggling on the macro a little bit. It seems like he maybe didn't practice this build too much or something like that. He's up to 1,000 metal in the bank and doesn't have much energy production at all. He's still banking up that metal as we speak. So while Blodir, on the other hand, is spending very well, already has contours in his base, has a lot of wind, and is going into that tug transition as well.
Right, and he's already secured like Andy's side of the map, so he's got these thugs on the high ground. They benefit from that increased range, having that plasma shot. Blodir's commander's already here with an LLT set up, so it's going to force Andy's commander back, and I'm sure he would have loved to secure that position right there. He does have his maces of his own here, so, and it looks like we actually got 4-3. So, you know, if Blodir's not careful, he could end up getting caught out here. So maces do, what is it, they outspeed commanders and have better range. So you can kind of run them down if you get, you know, if you get on top of them and on top of your micro.
In true Halloween fashion, both players playing so scary with their commanders fully on the front, the win condition just dangling right there. One misstep, well, literally. Yeah, and the game can be over just like that. Very scary and spooky.
I see a pack of grunts heading on both sides of the map, right? So top left, bottom right, we see Blodir have these raiding grunts. I can't say one LLT is going to stop these, right? 5 grunts microed properly can definitely take down an LLT. So if Andy isn't on top of this, I mean, he does have radar coverage, so he should know these raids are coming and, you know, can get units in position. But while he's, you know, busy with this fight in mid, is he going to have the time to react?
Yeah, I mean, when you make that transition to maces, it becomes difficult to control your flanks. You have to switch back into fast units, and we already see like 5 grunts from Blodir from the middle managed to sneak past this LLT, gonna take a mix, and there's no response. Like there's no defending units that can answer this. They can keep walking. At the same time, the thugs versus maces have finally started trading in the middle. Randy is on the way healthier mace count, or even has a Centurion there in the front challenging the light laser tower. And Blodir's going to be forced to kind of back up from this position, but he's stuck in a corner, right? It almost looks like Randy's trying to close up the escape, but backs up now.
Still see these macro issues from Andy, right? He's got like, was that 1.2k metal in the bank? He does have a full energy bar, but he desperately needs to spend this metal right now. I mean, Blodir has a metal advantage. He has more metal produced, or actually that's actually dead even right now, but Andy needs to spend this metal right now if he's going to field the same number of thugs that Blodir has. He's just streaming them across the map right now, reinforcing this position.
Yeah, but I think it's Randy's on a clock here. Like, he's not spending, and he's also down in mexes, right? Blodir has the top left corner. Randy doesn't have a corner for himself. He also gets raided here and there by grunts, and the army value is, you know, growing more and more apart in Blodir's favor. He needs to get something done, I feel like, right now, or this game's gonna slowly slip away.
Yeah, Blodir's doing a great job repairing these damaged thugs. He's just pulling the damaged ones back behind his front line, continuing to, you know, buy space against this commander. Andy already down to about 50% HP right now.
Yeah, the thug count from Blodir is just growing and growing. Randy's on 11 maces, but more and more thugs coming to the front. 20 thugs right now on the front from Blodir, and Randy can't really even get comfortably reinforcements in this area. You see the reinforcements kind of get cut off. He's the one stuck now in the corner.
Yeah, and I think I see some rocket bots even making their way across the map from Blodir, so he should be able to clear out these defensive LLTs. Use that overshot on the rockets to, you know, continue to damage these thugs that are, you know, battling back and forth. Andy's got to be very careful with this commander then here. You can set target on that and just walk your thugs forward. If you have enough of them, you can just, you know, trade HP for the game essentially.
Yeah, I mean, and now this looks like a classic 8v8 game fight, right? There's the thugs versus the thugs, the commanders on the front repairing them, you know, with micro. Very close resemblance.
Rocket bots do show up to the front line, so that's going to add a lot more DPS to this army. Those rockets do hit pretty hard. See both main bases. Players are just macroing as best they can. Blodir doing a really good job. It looks like Andy did eventually spend his bank right now, but he's getting pushed off of this high ground plateau, and as soon as he drops down below this high ground, these thugs are going to have a really nice range advantage against the maces of Andy.
Yeah, army value 30% now in favor of Blodir. He's 50% also up in metal per second, got a comfortable lead on the map control. But at the same time, he's getting pressured here. It looks like Randy's actually going to commit on the commander or on the resbots. He's running in with pawns.
Pawns did a great job flanking those rocket bots, so I think most of them went down. I think there's like 2 left. Centurion still anchoring this defense right now. Blodir did set target on the commander, and he's just walking forward right now. Both players just trying to close out the game. I think Andy might have given up here. Yeah, he's going to lose the rest of his maces here. Blodir's got this high ground secured. He's got the reclaim field secured. Blodir.
Randy codes GG's.
Taking down game 2.
Commander destroyed.
So 2-0 Blodir, wow. And manages to snag a win on Randy's map pick. There's like this rumor going around that Blodir is a FAF player, doesn't like playing on these small maps. He likes a bigger macro map. But yeah, I mean, we see him take a win on the small map that's, you know, supposedly better for Randy. Yeah, I'm sure he's very happy with that.
Yeah, Blodir, I'm sure feels much more comfortable on those large macro maps, and yeah, I guess a nod to that would be him banning out Red Comet, which I'm sure Andy would have loved to play on, honestly. I think he's very strong on that map as well.
Yeah, I mean, and who knows how many games he has on this map across multiple Spring Engine versions of TA, right?
Right.
All right, next map, Devil's Postpiles. Yeah, I think it's my favorite map from the pool. What do you think?
I've really enjoyed watching matches on this map and playing them, right? So it's definitely delivered as a player and a spectator. I will say one of the changes Aiden made to this map was those cliffs right below those two mexes used to be traversable to bots, right? Which, after seeing how dominant like pounders were on this map, I'm wondering if it would be a good change to actually flip that back so like bots would be a little bit more viable on this map.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm also curious to see if Randy's gonna do the mine layer play again, but he's probably not gonna go for it, right? Blodir now knows the counter to send his own mine layer forward.
Right. I mean, he could still end up using it. I think the APM it takes to deal with the mine layer is higher than what it costs to put the mines down. So could be worth in that regard. Even kind of, you know, just slowing down the expansion for, you know, just a few seconds can really pay off. I mean, it's so important to secure either like, you know, bottom right or top left, depending on where you spawn at, right? So if you can slow down your opponent's expansions, you can get ahead, and then you can, you know, leverage that metal income advantage for more units, quicker transitions, faster geos, stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if Andy uses it again.
I mean, yeah, it worked a treat the first time he tried it. It bought him so much time.
Yeah, it was kind of incredible, honestly, and I was really surprised to see autopilot like really hanging on to the metal produce tab. I think it was just the quicker air transition from autopilot, and he must have been on top of reclaiming those post piles too, because it seemed like Andy had secured that top left. All those mexes for himself were like autopilot didn't have any of those, and somehow it was just hanging on to that metal produced and metal income lead.
Yeah. That's why I like that map so much. There's so many different ways you can eke out a lead, and you can choose so many different, like, there's so many different mini games you can play to get ahead. And yeah, I'm not sure if it's balanced or all the different strats you can do, if it's perfectly balanced map or whatever, but it's definitely very interesting.
Looks like Blodir is calling for a few minutes here just to collect himself, perhaps. Some banter going on in the lobby. Sorry, it's kind of funny.
Yeah. So, do you think Randy's mental is affected after losing the first two games? I feel like any player going down 2 games in the series, and also remembering 2 months ago when they were playing together again, Blodir also won the first 2 games, won the third one, and won the whole tournament.
Right.
Do you think that's affecting him somehow?
I would like to think no. Just Andy's like so used to playing in these tournament settings, right? I mean, you gotta be able to deal with the pressure if you want to perform well in these tournaments. So, you know, we're not quite on match point yet. Maybe that's when it starts affecting you, but there's still a lot of games left to play. I mean, you just have to win 1 or 2 more, and then it just turns into a best of 3, and the series, you know, it's kind of like, I guess obviously even at that point, but. Definitely have to give the momentum to Blodir though. If he is able to pick up a win on this map, that's when I'd start thinking Andy might be maybe doubting himself, perhaps. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's cool though. I really like how we're having a complete rematch of what happened last time. You know, now Blodir, the reigning champ, Randy again, the challenger, now trying to snatch the crown of the King of the North. It's very cool to see, and I would love to see Randy win some games this time and actually take the series long, show that he's you know, grown past his performance in BPL 6.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, it'd be a great way for Andy to get some, you know, revenge perhaps from last season.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible. At the start of this tournament, I wouldn't expect to see a rematch from last season. So pretty incredible to see both players' tournament runs so far. Blodir looking a little bit more solid, I'd say, going through, you know, the groups, of course. Both players had undefeated scores going through groups, right? But that quarterfinal and semifinal match definitely was pretty dominant for Blodir, I'd say.
Yeah, we see very little mistakes from Blodir at any point. He's always on top of his micro. We don't see him like commit units and lose them. We don't see him float metal. Yeah, it seems like he's just a very stable player.
So while we're waiting for these players to get back to the match, I'm going to bring in APM's Zeeberg here, who's going to tell us about an upcoming tournament. So just give me a moment. I'll bring him in here, and he'll give you guys the scoop on some upcoming tournaments that are going to be, I think, later this month. So if you guys love watching competitive bar, you can stay with us, jump back on Bar Official here towards the end of November and watch a 4v4 tournament. So just waiting on him to jump in here and give us the scoop on that.
Oh, hell yeah. Are you going to be participating in that tournament, Barcast?
I believe so, yeah. I got a great team to play with. Always fun. I'd say, you know, despite being like a 1v1 player, air quotes like that, the most fun I've had in bar really, truly has been like the Omega series, just like prepping builds, getting in VC with your team. It's just so much fun to play.
Yeah,
And
cooking.
cooking, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very nice tournament. All right, there he is.
Hey, Zeeberg, how's it going?
It's possible that you are muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Hiya, how are you doing?
Good. Would you mind just going over that 4v4 tournament real fast?
Oh yeah, sure. At the end of the month, we're going to have a 4v4 open tournament hosted by DME. It's a continuation of the tournament we had last year under the DME name. Yeah, so it's going to be high level. We want lots of teams to sign up, and let's have a good time.
Is there like a Discord you're going to be running that through? How would players sign up for that?
Yeah, we have a Discord, and we also have been developing a own tournament site that we want to team for bar. Flying Duck has been developing that. So come onto the Discord and sign up via the site that we have linked there.
Is that the BCCL
I think I've sent you the Discord link. Sorry?
Is that the BCCL Discord, or is that a second one you sent me?
No, the BCCL is another tournament that we're doing. I can also talk about that one if you want. The BCCL is the Bar Clan Conquest League.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be announcing that this week. That's where the top clans are going to be duking it out against each other in 1v1s, 3v3s, 2v2s, and a 5v5. But more information about that is going to be coming this week. That's different tournaments for the 4v4 ATM tournament.
Well, that's great to hear. More competitive bar, just more tournaments for these players and spectators to get into. So appreciate you organizing that.
Ah, great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I've been really enjoying the casts and the games of the BPL, so continue doing the good work.
Yeah, thank you. I think we got our players ready to go into this next match. So thanks, Zeeberg, for popping on and giving us the scoop on that tourney.
Yeah, no problem. Good luck. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Excellent. More exciting stuff, right? So get a couple more tournaments to close out the year.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be playing as well. It should be a lot of fun. But yeah, for game 3, we find ourselves on Devil's Postpiles. I wonder if we're going to see diagonal spawns again. I see Blodir hovering bottom right, actually. So already different from what we saw just a few hours ago. They're going to spawn close to each other. I wonder if we're going to see some aggressive plays.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. And I don't really know if Blodir needs to go for something like that. I'm sure he feels comfortable just taking the game long. So is this, I mean, do you think this is for some kind of, you know, thug pressure going just like right over to Andy's main base? Or I just haven't really seen this spawning position too many times.
I mean, I honestly couldn't tell. I don't know what they would go for. It's hard to see core bots working on this map, but if anyone can make it work, it's probably Blodir, right? He's been believing in the core bot opener on pools and on Arxim cats, so he's probably has something cooked up for this map. But I would love to see some early pressure. Maybe some com walks would be very, very nice. I know you can get a lot of things done with some commander pressure.
Right. Yeah, I'd say Andy spawn is a bit more traditional or meta. I know this map is still very new, so it's still kind of being figured out by the players. But the one advantage is while you're walking towards that, top left quadrant, you can pick up all these extra mexes with your commander along the way. So a little bit more efficient use of build power, I'd say.
Yeah, we see both players going core. Blodir puts down the core vehicle lab blueprint. I expect that's what we're going to see from Randy as well in just a second.
Did he roll random at the start of this, or did he pick?
I did not pay attention, but I imagine he did not. I think it's really difficult to make Armada work here. Alright, there we go. Core vehicles from Randy as well. So mirror matchup.
Yeah, 2 cons first. Pretty standard, I'd say. The map is rather large, so can definitely get out like these, greedy opens. Get these expanding cons out. Get the commander expanding off the lab as quickly as possible. And then we go into that, scout versus scout phase of the game, which has been, I'd say, a pretty enjoyable shift in the metagame. Can you speak to that, Slick? I mean, have you noticed any other changes in 1v1s over the course of this BPL tourney?
Oh, the big two meta shifts, I guess if you could call them, is the increased scout play. We see a lot more scouts in the early game, and the pounder on repeat. I don't think it's something we've seen before. Those are the two developments that I think have started happening in the preparation for BPL 7. I think on this map, we're not going to see much scout play. It's just so easy to lock down the chokes with incisors. There's really no point to go for mini scouts. And the pounders we're definitely going to see on this map, I imagine. I mean, Randy has been not really doing pounder on repeat in his games. He's been going heavier into brute, but Blodir, I am certain, will do a lot of pounders.
It's been so interesting to see that change. I mean, the unit hasn't been balanced at all recently, and suddenly players are just making 20, 30 of them in a match is like completely different than what we've normally been seeing. So I guess they've always been good, just players didn't realize how good they were. So
yeah, it's so refreshing to see that we're still finding hidden treasures just through playing. You would think that 1v1 with one lab being the predominant choice would already be figured out, but no, we keep getting new developments.
Right.
Alright, first scouts started making it in. Blodir now aware where Randy spawned. Randy does not know yet, but he probably has a good idea, judging by how fast these scouts are coming in the direction. No damage done so far for either player.
Yeah, doing a great job deflecting these scouts. One of them might sneak through, but Blodir backs it up. Doesn't want to lose that scout for free. And he's just going to try and, contain, pressure, poke and prod, and find some damage. But, Andy is very strong with the scout micro, so I don't think he'll take too much damage at this point in the game.
I'm constantly keeping an eye for a mine layer on the queue. I have the Randy lab selected.
What do you think about that ambassador play on the Postpiles from earlier from Randy?
I loved it. Just a little bit better routing. Skirt around the flag. He could have done it, and that would have been game ending. Because how do you deal with it when it gets there? I love that idea, and I personally have always thought that you can put stuff on the Postpiles. I like putting TARs up there. Yeah, these players doing it is just so nice to see.
Ooh, Andy kind of stepping out of position there for a moment. If this incisor does show up, he's going to take out a few of these scouts and force them away. So really nice catch there. That could have been close. Can't let that many scouts slip into your main base.
Yeah, very, very defendable map. Yeah.
Yeah, and to your point, I think as we see more and more games on this map, players will start abusing the Postpiles more than they already have. I know we've seen a lot of early AA turrets or, lashers being dropped on them. And I'd imagine just T2 plays a much much more difficult things can be done, or difficult to deal with things can be done on those post piles than in the T1 stage.
Yeah, so many possibilities. Yeah, 100% agree.
Just waiting for Kuchi to drop a tremor on top of whatever main base.
Yeah, that definitely seems something like he would do.
So both players choosing to go for this, pretty standard commander explam. Blodir capping these Surmexes, adding some additional LLTs. Andy just now traversing across the water, getting to that top left quadrant. So do you think we'll see forward labs on those from both players, or?
Well, Randy has been in his game before. He was doing a front lab. We can see from Blodir he already has it queued up. I was actually going to comment on that. His commander queue has been set from the start. Just like all the expansions, and even like putting another lab down. It's pretty funny to see. Yeah, I think both of them were going to do a front lab.
This nice pressure here from Andy. He's got like 10 incisors versus 4, so this LLT is desperately trying to get put up. But Andy, you think he might actually catch these two cons? They're gonna pull the self D.
Oh, so close. It doesn't go off.
Yeah, but I mean, Andy's gonna get these two expanding cons if he doubles back around and actually grabs them. He is leaving a bit of metal here on Blodir's side of the map, but both cons going down. Huge catch here from Andy.
Yeah, that certainly is huge. 2 cons, 3 mexes going down. Really good damage. We'll put Blodir back on the metal produce side of things. Randy will probably catch up, but that's a lot of metal going down. The question is, was it worth it? I mean, let's be real. Randy's probably not grabbing that metal, or at least not a huge part of it. So
yeah, I think it was a bit of a mistake kind of committing up that hill. He should have been happy just grabbing the 2 cons, backing up, and not dropping off those like additional 4 or 5 tanks. That see, Blodir's already here. He's got a con, reclaiming this metal. 1.2 Ks. I mean, that's like half of the T2 lab, right?
Yeah, and maybe this was a little bit of an over engagement from Randy, right? Maybe he pushed in a little bit too far.
Yeah, I mean, he's still committing to this fight even. So Blodir has a reinforcement here. He has this expanding con. He's going to be putting down a radar here, trying to recap these mexes. But, I mean, Andy has to get another con over here if he wants to contest this reclaim. Going to be grouping up his incisors here. But really, the more you commit to, taking this out, just the more you're contributing to this reclaim field. I see a pounder showing up at the front line that's totally going to shut down this pressure from Andy. Might even end up losing 4 or 5 more incisors because they really just can't run away. Okay, did a nice job microing there. Just loses 2 to that pounder. Maybe another one will go down.
Just brutal, honestly. Oh, maybe the pounder's actually over. No, it's. I thought maybe Randy could jump on it, but no, he chooses to move back ultimately. And yeah, with the pounder on top of this reclaim field, the deal is sealed. No point fighting over this area anymore. I think Randy knows it. Instead chooses to reroute all of his forces to the north side of the map. And actually, he might get a lot of expansion damage with this incisor run by, because the pounders are there to defend, but they're so slow. Will they be able to cut off the point in time? It seems like just in time we'll get there. And
right. And those impulse shots do so much damage, slowing down these incisors, letting those pounders catch just more of those incisors. And he did tech into air. See an aircon, a few aircons actually expanding to these post piles, trying to get those AA turrets set up.
Yeah, very early air transition from Randy. I think he likes doing it. There's definitely very good value to be found in it, but damn, like so much army value and so much reclaim already won for Blodir. I'm not sure that this is a very huge advantage.
Yeah, still more damage coming out, and we see a big group of medium tanks and pounders heading up to the top side of the map where Blodir's commander is trying to cut off these incisors. If Andy can get into that top right quadrant, I mean, he can get a lot of damage done. There's just nothing to protect that opening. Blodir's commander desperately trying to run to that choke point right now.
But again, like I don't know, the incisors, they're just kind of getting pushed around by the pounders. That's just another wreck field that's going to be in Blodir's control, with the pounders already sitting on top of it as it's developing. Ooh, what I said now, a raid on the top left. Self-D going to go off on the LLT. No, it doesn't. And Randy's going to be able to pick up this con, and he's going to do so much damage to this fully naked expansion in the top left sector.
Yeah, he's got to
Yeah, he
get
just-
some berries up here to lock that down. Looks like these aircons gonna get shot down. One of them goes down. He does get the AA set up on that high ground though, so that is going to screen these, provide some cover for these fighters. Okay, air
Yeah,
battle.
these two anti-air turrets are gonna be so oppressive. The one way to get rid of them is to bomb them. You would think Wolverines can also kill them, but they actually can't shoot up the
Yeah.
post piles. They're too tall.
Andy trying to solve his economy issues right now. He's got a full metal bar, trying to desperately put down some solars here to balance out his economy.
He drops the tier 2 lab actually. Yeah, that's a good way to spend. Drop the tier 2 lab and hopefully wind stays decent and he can make that work as well. But we see bombers actually here from Blodir. 5 bombers on the queue. I wonder if that's to just shoot these nettles or to actually bomb the base. As we know from previous games, Randy likes to always put his wins into this very close formation that's sort of susceptible to bombing, right?
Yeah, it's a bit more efficient, like build power wise, constructing them, but they definitely are much more vulnerable to bombing. So,
Yeah.
and here we go. Yeah, bombers out, trying to clear out these couple of nettles here. Even an LLT being put on this post pile here.
Yeah, good play from Blodir. Permanently stunning the Thistles with the Shuriken and the Aircon making an LT. But the first bombers are hitting the base of Randy. No anti-air available. Now the first missile truck gets boosted out of the lab. No fighters, and Randy's just gonna freely bomb the entire base. What is he targeting? Also, the BP is very stacked. If Blodir chooses to bomb these 4 construction turrets, the game is probably over.
Yeah, hasn't targeted them quite yet. We see one bomb does go off. There's enough fighter support here to actually cover these bombers, but one does go down. I think there's, what, 2 more left? Trying to make some additional passes. Getting so many of these wins, right? Andy's down to, what, a quarter of Blodir's energy production?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's very, very low. Yeah, it's such an awkward position to have that almost boosted out tier 2 lab get scouted. And you take so much damage in return. Luckily for Randy, the build power does not go down, which would have been disastrous, I'm sure. So there is I still believe there's a way he can crawl back into the game. But yeah, it's definitely not looking advantageous.
No, and, you know, having this 90% finished T2 lab is just the worst possible case scenario. It finally ends up finishing here, but you really need to have clean transitions to kind of leverage the metal you put into them, getting those units out, getting those T2 cons out.
Yeah, we see a tier 2 lab from Blodir as well. 315 TARs on the queue.
Andy does have enough of a T1 army right now in position, but with these Shuris showing up, no air, figs to cover these. I think these pounders are going to go down, and how do you stop these brutes from leaking into the main base?
Yeah, I don't know. Randy made 1 tiger from the tier 2 lab, is now making a con, probably wants to make more tigers. But he can't really sure this, right? He lost air control, so much army right on his doorstep.
This is not looking good for our man Andy. Trying to put up a defense here. This army gets cleared out in mid. His commander is walking to the choke point right now to try and prevent these units from leaking in. But, I mean, there's 8 medium tanks right here on his doorstep. Tiger does show up. Maybe 1 or 2 more can clear this out or, protect himself. But the 2 pounders on the high ground actually are going to make this an easy defense.
Yeah, okay. Manages to lock it down. Is safe for him. But yeah, Blodir is on 2,000 energy per second, already upgrading metal extractors, producing a Tsar, while Randy's trying to drop a fusion, actually. I'm not sure. What do you think about the fusion?
Yeah, it's, not ideal. See most players prioritize getting that AGO straight away out of the T2 lab. It's just such an efficient economy structure, but, being down on energy, you got to get this... You gotta get this situation sorted out, right? And he has the metal to pay for it, so that should end up going down pretty quickly.
Do you think he's purposefully avoiding making the AGO at this point just because he's afraid of it going down?
Yeah, you have to think that if you finish the AGO and your opponent, you know, slides in with a bombing run, you can just, like you said, it's just like game-ending damage. It blows up all your build power, most of your economy. So many mexes go down, lots of build power. So, and probably not wanting to risk that. We see this Tsar being transported to the front line here.
Yeah, but he's actually gonna. All right, there we go. He goes into stun the AA. I was actually afraid because he was planning to drop it under a lot of missile trucks, but he goes in first with the Shuri, stunning all the missile trucks, and then drops it safely, and is now gonna go on forward. Does Randy have a tower of his own? Not yet. He's actually producing tigers at this stage. Yeah, we saw. I think Randy likes to make Tsars on this map. Tigers on this map way before he goes into a Tsar, right? We've seen it before.
Yeah, they're much faster. You can kind of abuse the different pathing, right? I mean, you can roll over T1 walls. They handle LLTs fairly well, so maybe he can find some like economy rating damage with the Tigers, but not when he has to use them in a main fight right here, trying to take down this Tsar. I don't think he's going to end up getting it. We'll see. Sherry's do jump on top of this Tiger. This fight's going towards Blodir.
Yeah, not many tools Randy has to really take that position back. He only has Tigers. There's not really much anti-air left. And Blodir's just transporting more and more Tsars. The Blodir Express keeps dropping Tsars on the front line. And that's another secured reclaim field.
Yeah, and he's trying to bring his commander up to this fight. I'm wondering if he's going to try and risk getting some deacons off. If you don't have the energy economy to, you know, cloak and walk with the commander, you can kind of throw the game away. I think it's like 8 Tsar shots take out a commander, so a bit risky.
I'm hyped for this. Does he have the energy production to make this work? I think so, right? He's on 2,000 energy per second. I think he can make this work. Is there a radar available for Blodir? Yes, he sees the radar dot. He's getting shot. Oh my god, he's dead. There's no way.
Okay, 2 more shots, right?
Randy, Blodir doesn't realize. He just backs up. He doesn't. I don't think he realized that dot was the commander.
You see behind all this, Blodir is just macroing like a madman. He's transporting T2 cons up to the top right side. He's going to be starting that AGO soon enough, capping those T2 mexes. He's going to be going into another vehicle lab. He's got all of this build power already set up. These, you know, D1 construction bots already here to assist this con. He's going to get further.
But we see Tigers do what Tigers are great at, and Randy's sending them to flank. He's sending them through the one spot that there are no Tigers available, and these 5 Tigers, if they get into the main base, could do some damage, could snipe some BP, but Shuris are already available, and a Tsar gets routed there. Yeah, this is probably not going to do a lot.
Yeah, Tigers really can't handle Shuris like Incisors can. They're going to end up getting stunned out here. There is a single Lasher pulling up to defend this, but, you know, those Shuris can just jump on the Lasher and stun it.
Yeah, the Tsars are encroaching on Randy. There's the army value 50%, and obviously Blodir's army value is way better because he has those Tsars closing up on the main base. And this is so scary.
Yeah, 3 Tsars right outside the front door of Andy's base. 4 Tsars even. Not sure how he's going to be able to defend this. He's trying to get some Tigers in position, but these Tsars can just roll over this one.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if the Tigers get close enough to the Tsars and force a lot of friendly fire, I think that's exactly what Randy's trying to go for. He's trying to flank, he's trying to get close and personal. 1 Tsar is going to go down. The Tsar shooting, yeah, there is indeed a lot of friendly fire. 2nd Tsar, half HP. Keeps getting peppered. Blodir's puts set target on the BP. He's not shooting at the enemy units anymore. Tsar's now getting flanked from behind by Tigers. The BP goes down. Is Blodir gonna shoot down the fusion? Another Tsar goes down. The lab is on 1 HP. Gets killed. The tier 2 lab goes down. But that is so many dead Tsars for Randy. Is he going to resurrect this? He needs those. Yeah.
See a bit of an engagement on the top right side. A single pounder slips through, but they're sure he's here to defend this. No way this does any extra damage. And you know, if Randy can secure that reclaim and get those unit threads, maybe he's got a fighting chance in this, but there's, you know, a stream of rovers heading across the map to get, you know, give vision for these Tsars. There's already 3 on the front door, and Randy's gonna tap out.
He goes to Blodir, and 3-0 for Blodir. What a commanding lead. If this was last BPL, the tourney would already be over.
Yeah, we're on match point for Blodir here. We're going to be going back to one of Randy's maps. What is that? Pools of Eyeless. So the legend of Randy of the Lake may return here. Just abusing that water, you know, jumping out, sniping geos and cons and whatnot. We'll have to see if he has a repeat of that game from last tournament. But it's going to be tough. Andy's got to pull the reverse sweep here. Never a good position to be down 3-0 in a best of 7.
Yeah, but if we remember what happened last time, Randy was behind in all of these games, and then he was playing so well, and he was doing so much pressure to Blodir, and he almost pulled back in every game he was losing from the start, right?
Right.
I would imagine he can, you know, tap into that energy again, put on a performance like this again.
Yeah, let's hope so. We gotta get to that game number 7 somehow, right? So Andy's gonna have to deliver that to us here. He's going into match point for Blodir on a map that he's been very strong on. I've really liked his open and approach. Plays very safe.
Yeah, let's see if he pulls out the grunts again. Obviously, a predominant strategy on this map has just been core vehicles, but Blodir has been putting his foot down, playing his Cortex bots.
Yeah, he's got a pretty solid open too. Just that 2max bot lab open. You're right there by the crystals, so you know he gets up that early construction turret, starts expanding with the commander. Maybe Andy drops a watcher step here just to kind of make him think twice about doing that commander expand on the right side of the map. But Andy's ready for it, man. He's got his commander placed down. He's readied up. He's dropping the GLHF. Definitely wants to get into this game.
The reverse sweep starts now. That must be his mindset. I can't imagine Randy in a not being positive right now.
Yeah, definitely a testament to his experience here in these tournament games, right? Not shying away from the pressure.
Yeah, right. Blodir placing his commander where we're used to seeing him. Yeah, this looks like his grunt build.
I know there's a few different options for spawning positions. I think Blodir is kind of showing something a little bit. I mean, frankly, pretty smart here. I like how this 2max is kind of tucked away. It's a little bit farther away from your opponent. I'd say an early radar gives you a lot better coverage there from that position as well. So really well thought out spawning position and build order from our blue player.
Yeah, there we go. Cortex bots gets put down. I don't know. Are we gonna see Randy pull out a really fast incisor again, or something like that, just like he did in the high noon game?
Yeah. Oh, actually, now that you say that, maybe. I think it's a bit of a different kind of map, right? I can't imagine you can hide the incisor as well without sacrificing a lot of travel distance, right? I mean, you could go down like on the left side, right, and show up at an angle that you might really not see, but grunts do a much better job defending against scouts than we saw in that previous game, where it was scouts versus scouts, where I'd say Andy has got a bit of an advantage. I'd say he's probably one of the better scout micro players in the game.
Yeah, well, we see Randy actually queue up 2 cons first, 3 scouts, and then another con. It seems like maybe he's going sort of greedy again. Maybe we'll see him do the X Factor walk again, just like he did in that game of Pools versus Autopilot. But yeah, maybe he's gonna do something similar to that Arxim Cats game where he knows Blodir is starting grunt, so he goes for a little bit of a greedier open, I guess.
Yeah. We'll have to see. Andy's trying to fix his E issues right now. We see Wind ended up dropping there quite a bit, forcing him to stop and make that solar. He would have loved to kind of continue walking forward, just capping these maxes. But, Blodir just doing the same thing here. Resbot first, Con second, goes right into this construction turret. He's trying to get his energy set up to be able to assist that with his commander.
The good old reliable.
He's gonna burn through that energy fairly quickly. It looks like he's just not gonna finish it. He's gonna just get into his expansions right away here. He's like gonna let that con finish the construction turret. And pretty mirror builds from what we saw in game our last series, right? Andy going for this X Factor build, capping these 3 mexes, should be walking back to the lab here, and then he'll be expanding with those 2 cons.
Yeah, looking kind of similar. Yeah, making a final con, and I assume after it he's going for a explosion of incisors. Yeah, there we go. Shows up on the queue.
I do like how Andy is reading these kind of early games from Blodir, and he knows he likes to play a little bit passive in the early game, nothing too aggressive. He just wants to get into the mid game and let his macro skills shine. So Andy is abusing that just a bit, playing pretty greedy, honestly, like 3 scouts and 4 cons. Okay, maybe not the 4th con quite yet, but very, very greedy open so far. He's had this lab unassisted for quite a bit of time. He's already going out expanding with these 2 vehicle cons.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry.
I mean, pretty optimal, I'd say, from Randy, abusing the greed, knowing that you're not going to be under pressure. I really, really like it. Blodir probably knows exactly what's going on. The scouts being very, very late once again.
Yeah, but I mean, very, very good open from Blodir. He's macroing really well here. He's perfectly buttoned up with his grunts in all these positions, right? Just shutting down each of these lanes. No scouts can get through now without running past a grunt. So he's perfectly content to just continue making construction bots, continue macroing up. I'm sure he'll get that wind scaling set up here soon enough. And Andy going for a mine layer again.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Looks like he did spot the commander expanding along the left side of the map, so he should know where Blodir's commander should be pathing. We see some incisors, I guess, making their way to that corner of the map. You really have to make sure, you have to deny the vision to Blodir, right? You can't let him see this mine layer.
And there we go. Over here is where we have a heavy mine and a medium mine queued up. Wow, is that going to be enough? I think so. But basically, Randy is gambling that Blodir's commander walk will end up with him trying to pick up this mex over here. But yeah, the mine layer has to go back, actually. Blodir has grunts in position, would have spotted the mine layer going to its quest, so Randy pulls it back.
I think this incisor is going to get caught out actually by these 5 grunts here, so it's going to get taken down pretty quickly there. Really nice trade. Loses 1 grunt for an incisor. And this mine layer is just not being, it can't get in position right now.
Yeah, grunts are swarming the entire map. It's very tough, and obviously the entire strat falls apart if you get scouted, right? That's the thing. You want your mine layer to have an uninterrupted 1 minute to put down all the stuff and get away from the scene of the crime. So it's very, very tricky to pull it off, and with so many grunts around on the map, it's probably easier to do this against a vehicle player, honestly.
It's just amazing to see how Blodir is able to use these grunts against incisors. Like, historically, it's been just such a tough situation to be in, right? Incisors, once they get into decent enough numbers, they get balled up. They trade so well against grunts, but somehow he's making it work. And it looks like Andy denying the vision here from the grunts, so he is escorting this mine layer to where Blodir is going to be. He's going to get these mines set up. Andy doing a nice job defending there, protecting this expanding con on the top side of the map. Looks like on the left side. He's getting an exploiter set up as well, so that con should be defended. And Blodir moving into vehicles.
The mine layer got to its final destination, unscouted so far, is putting down mines, but he's actually M-stalling, so it's taking a little bit longer. But first mine is about to be set up. I can't believe we're closely watching a mine layer, but no.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
Peak bar, right? 2025. Huge wall of grunts here. It's going to shoo away these incisors from Andy, but this is, he doesn't have to commit to the attack. He's just kind of posturing and pressuring. It looks like he got a big group of incisors heading down the left side of the map, but I see there's an exploiter already set up.
No, but this con is going to go down for sure. It's walking away from the exploiter. There's no radar vision to spot these incisors, and they're going to jump on it, and yeah, that con is dead. Oh my god. I just looked back at Blodir's con. He's trying to pick up that mex now, but he can't reach it from there. He's going to have to wrap around. And he's going to step on the mines exactly if he does that.
Okay, self-D on the exploiter. Does get a really nice connection there. Big fight in mid. Looks like Blodir's going to back up. Andy, I think, could have pressed the issue there, but decides to just, posture back. Doesn't want to commit to an attack. And the mine layer got out of there. It did its job. It's got the 2 heavy mines down. It's got the camera there. And Blodir's commander is still stuck on this high ground trying to take this next, but he's just going to opt for the radar instead.
Yeah, and he's gonna have to do the walk around. All right, let's see. The trap is laying in place now. We just wait for the time to expire. At the same time, the 22 grunts are finally moving up the mountain. There are incisors in position, but if Randy's not careful, he is in a bad formation currently. They could get the jump on him. One incisor goes down.
Yeah, really nice trade here from Blodir. Andy did have the radar in position, so a bit of a mismaker there. It looks like this con is going to go down and weld. Andy's spamming down these solars here to block the pathing of the grunts. Really, really nice use of that while it's going down. And
yes, so many incisors went down during that. Yeah, Blodir really, really good engagement here, catching Randy when it's not the correct formation. And now with the reinforcing blue incisors, this is going to be a very cool fight for this reclaim field. Blodir already has a res bot there. Randy doesn't have anything that can reclaim close.
Self-D on that exploiter takes out 2 of those incisors. Looks like the con is already there to kind of replace it. But this fight in mid, I'm a little bit worried for Andy here. He can't quite get on top of this reclaim field. He's just sitting right down below this hill, and there's 800 metal here and a resbot already on top of it, grabbing this metal for Blodir.
Yeah, that's the power of opening bots. You always have a res bot lying around for when you really need it. You don't have to slowly waddle a con up there. And yeah, that's like what, 800, 900 metal into Blodir's bank. And he's gonna pull back when he recognizes he's outmatched. Not gonna feed any more Vero plate.
Yeah, medium tanks do show up, shoos away this army. Medium tanks very strong against incisors. They've got that splash damage. Much tankier, better range, more HP. So it's gonna push Blodir back for now. I'd imagine he'll be switching into medium tanks of his own or pounders. See one on the front line here already.
Yeah, I would say this is a comfortable slight lead for Blodir when we're going into this mid game. Oh, but this is a huge engagement.
Yeah, it gets right on top of the army. There's a couple medium tanks in the back not firing as they're retreating, so this whole army's gonna get taken out. 2,000 reclaims sitting here.
Yeah, I think we just went from a slight advantage to Blodir to a massive advantage to Blodir, as it seems like he's gonna be able to secure that entire reclaim field, or at least most of it right here. Already has a resbot on top, has his army nicely positioned. Pounders now moving on top of the resbot. Randy has no pounders on the front. It's going to be very tough to claim this reclaim field back.
Right, we see Andy is moving his commander forward. He has to contest this position somehow. Can't let Blodir get both of these hills. Vehicle con making its way up onto this high ground here, looking a little bit vulnerable, but Blodir's, moving back his army now. He's bringing up some more medium tanks. And as soon as this commander shows up, this position should be one for Andy, but he can't take a bad trade while this commander is moving up, right? He's got to hold on to this position, using that repair from that con. Really underutilized the mechanic in the game, I'd say. Or repairing is completely free, doesn't cost you anything to do.
Yeah, only costs the constructor, and if they're already made, why not? But yeah, we see Randy 2,000 metal in the bank. It seems like he walked away from his lab to contest that reclaim field, but didn't have sufficient BP to spend that metal. I also want to pull attention to another matter. I just clicked on Blodir's comm, and I see that his queue exactly walks on top of the mines, actually.
Oh my, are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. This is 100% possible. This will happen again, I think, unless this Randy commander goes down in the middle. This will most likely happen. It would be such a shame if Randy misses it or something, but yeah, Blodir's commander is walking right now.
Andy trying to spend that metal in the bank. Are these incisors going to path over that? Well, they're on hold fire anyways, but do you reveal the mines by bumping into them, or is that...
No, you do not, no.
Okay, so, Andy has to protect his commander here. I'm a little bit worried. He's kind of in front of his army right now. Blodir has got a huge amount of medium tanks just right there waiting to take that commander out, but Andy, yeah, rightly so, backing up. Could easily climb up one of these hills.
Randy sees it.
No way. Andy,
he sees it.
Oh!
No, not quad on top. Oh my god, what a close call. What a close call.
He's gonna move his tanks over there. Can he get some splash damage on the commander? Take out his HP? Oh. Okay, Blodir is trying to... Is he gonna walk past it again? Andy.
Oh my god, now's the time. I think this is as good as the explosion is gonna get. He has to blow them.
Andy, what are you doing? Why didn't he detonate them? Oh
I mean,
my gosh.
I'm not sure actually. I think that was the shot to take a game.
That was the opening. I think Andy missed it. Yeah, commander's retreating back away from that position, so the mines aren't going to be of any use here.
Yeah, bombers going in now for Blodir. We have 5 bombers going in. The scout emergency missile tracks being set up for Randy. Has a few thistles already in the base. Again, the target is the winds. They're very, very stacked. Yeah, 2 wind clusters go down. Are we going to see more? Oh my god, a little bit of a miss micro on the bomber actually doesn't drop. Right, I would say, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, Andy's going to have to find a way to get back in this game. Huge ball of medium tanks here on the right side. I don't see quite enough pounders to defend against that. Maybe Blodir decides to take this fight, but right now, I mean, we just look at the metrics. Blodir way ahead of metal produced, way ahead of metal income and energy income. And the commander, no mines around him at all, so the win condition for Andy was kind of botched there, and Blodir moving into T2. Already preparing those heavy transports as well. Going to be seeing some more Zars transported to the front line.
Yeah, extremely powerful play. One of the weaknesses that's obviously that is so slow, but you eliminate that by using the heavy transport from the air lab, which you already have because you did the bombing. Very efficient. Way of playing.
And, this attack does look rather threatening, but Blodir does have some Shuris available. He's going to fly these over to defend this position. Exploder is going to pin down this defense for a moment. We see a self-deal on it. Not quite. Ends up going down.
I think this is not enough shuriken. Honestly, brutes are obviously terrible at shooting shuriken, but with this low count, they're eventually going to win that fight. They keep going forward. Not enough army here to meet this from Blodir, and he's actually caught in that awkward moment where he is transitioning to tier 2, so he doesn't really have reinforcing army coming out the lab that he can easily reroute, but Randy ultimately chooses to pull back anyway and decides to not push his luck because he doesn't have any anti-air available.
Like the position in mid has been stabilized for Andy here. Does he have a forward lab set up? I can't quite tell. No, he's just making some wins with his commander. He's kind of comfortably camping this high ground with his pounders, but okay, makes a transition himself, immediately going into a fusion here. I really like that play. Hasn't decided to make any kind of units just yet. He's just trying to get this economy set up, moving back into capping some mexes. Blodir reclaimed the air lab. He's got the heavy transport out as well, so as soon as this R is finished, it's going to be flown right to the front line here. And it's going to be very tough for Andy to deal with this.
Yeah, with half of the map walled off, we're going into a slow macro tier 2 stage. It's going to come down to whoever is better at upgrading the mixes and whoever can better defend the Tsars that are coming, right? We see the first Tsar, I'm pretty sure this is the first one, right? Getting dropped off a middle slowly, and he's even transporting the scout vehicle as well, the radar vehicle.
Yeah, really nice play here. Such a cool mechanic we see in Bar. It's like, these slow moving units can be instantly brought to the front line here, kind of abusing their weaknesses, right, with these air transports. So here we go. Zar's going to be dropped right off on the front line here. He's going to self-D his walls and start his attack.
And going in, yeah. Yeah, it's really cool to see. Usually plays like this you can't really do, right? Because it's so APM heavy to like click all those things. But when the game quiets down, you have suddenly a lot of APM freed up, and you can be efficient with your army movement.
So Andy's commander is here on the front line. He should be finishing his fusion soon enough. I was wondering if he was going to try and cloak and dig on the Tsar, but it looks like he's backing up. Doesn't want to try and risk it. I mean, I feel like you got to go for a play like that. I mean, you're down 0-3 in a series, and the Tsar is on your front line, so you got to find a way to do it. This fusion just barely not done. Finally, it's about to finish right, and that is going to fix Andy's energy issues.
Yeah, and now going into Tsar, into just pure Tsar for both players. Yeah, but this is so much army value on mid. I honestly don't know how Randy can stop it. Randy walks into the lake with his commander, doesn't want to take any gambles, I assume, just wants to be safe. But this is so much pure Cortex power going down this hill super quickly.
A little bit of a raid here on the right side for Andy. Is he going to get some good D-guns here, though? He is cloaking his commander, and Blodir...
Oh, that's so good. And now he walks back into the lake. That's actually such a nice calculated commander play.
Don't quite see the Tsar out for Andy just yet. Looks like he made a jammer and a radar bot. Finally, the Tsar rolling off the line, so should be getting this nice T2 unit on the front line. Andy might be walking back to try and get some D-guns here, but he's just sitting in the water, protected underneath of that surface. I don't really think there's a way to deal with that. I mean, can you set target on top of the water and splash the commander down?
Not on this map. The pools are extremely deep, and commander obviously walks on the bottom. I don't even think a Lich can splash the commander when he's down there.
Blodir backing up once again to the cliff. Andy should be going for some extra D-guns here. He's trying to walk out of the water here. Blodir does
he's
have a
resurfacing.
radar bot though, so he can set target this now.
Yeah, we see Randy trying to jump on top of this Tsar and these brutes in the middle, and it's actually gonna work. This Tsar is gonna get so much splash damage. All the units clumped up. What a nice direct hit. But I think Blodir's Tsar is ultimately gonna survive, and yeah, I don't think you can catch that. Oh my god! Randy's commander is actually taking damage. He's not in the deep part of the pool. He's getting set targeted down. He's 5%. One more hit. Oh my god! He goes down.
Blodir taking down the series, man. 4-0.
A clean sweep. Once again, a repeat of what happened last BPL. Blodir wins the finals against Randy without a single loss. Very clean, clean games. This time he wasn't even behind in any of them, I'm pretty sure. Well played to Blodir.
Wow, incredible. I mean, I was really hoping for the next game because those mines were in the right position, right? It was just like, I don't know, you just couldn't self-D them or something. Maybe like just nerves couldn't quite hit the keyboard or something like that. But yeah, Blodir taking down the tournament again. Really well played, hitting that, 2 BPLs in a row. So I guess it's going to be the King of the North part 2 for next season. So can someone take this man down?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of reminding me of that Cesaro run we saw with his 3 consecutive wins. Blodir now up to 2 consecutive wins.
Right.
And is BPL Season 8 really going to be called King of the North Part 2?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Look, maybe it'll be time for King in the Greater North or something, you know? Like, it could be anything. I don't know. That I was like yelling at my screen for Randy to click the button and detonate the mines. Like, I don't. Oh man, actually, so rough that he just didn't do it. I don't know. It. Do you think he was just being greedy, or what actually ended up happening there?
I think what he was trying to do, because we saw him move the brutes when he saw the commander wasn't exactly on top of the mines, I think he was trying to scare him into backing up on top of them. But he went the other direction and it never happened.
Yeah, kind of makes sense. I mean, wow, that was... Oh, God, and then the way he died, everything about that game was just stress. Like, it's just an all-around stressful set. It's a little sad we're not going to get our best of 7 out of that, but... Blodir just kind of looking too good. Oh man, it's mines, man. I can't believe it.
Here's the man himself, Blodir. Congrats. 2 in a row.
Hello. I didn't even see any mines.
You gotta go back and look how close that was. Like, you were seconds from death. Like, not even seconds, like pixels from death.
I sent grunts there and everything.
Yeah. Randy was really smart with shooing away the grunts just in time to get the mine layer in and to get the mine layer out. Like, it was some like 007 like spy activities. I don't know. That was crazy.
Nice.
So another BPL in a row. How you feeling? Another win.
It's great. I was a bit worried when I almost lost to X Factor, but
Yeah, I mean,
Also, I think
no, go ahead.
yeah, I was a bit more worried about other part as well. If he had made through, but Randy crushed him. So yeah, mine's too good.
I mean, yeah, it has to be said that I think for a lot of people is going to be the highlight of the series, right? That snipe on auto that Randy pulled off, despite Randy, you know, ended up not actually winning overall. But I don't know. I think a lot of people are kind of thinking the Blodir at this point. You're just unfair. You're looking too good. It's just kind of just too clean. Oh, Barcast, you got any questions for the man himself? Oh, I can see the watch your step. Mind Layer himself is also in here. Oh, maybe Randy. I don't know. We'll see.
Hey,
how
well played, Blood.
How you feeling?
Thank you. You too.
Randy.
Oh, is who feeling? Me or Randy?
Oh, Randy, I think at this point, right? Because I'm curious. He's got to be crushed after watching you slowly inch your way towards those mines and just holding off. We have to know what was the reasoning, Randy? Why not detonate it and go for like maybe the splash damage and try and snipe for the tanks or something? You just
I didn't think he was close enough to do the enough damage.
Yeah.
So I was trying to use the tanks to kind of make him run away that direction, but he went south instead of north.
Yeah.
At what time was that?
It was
When
like
you got
right,
the high ground mechs with your commander.
right.
Wait. Oh, wait. So right at the end.
Like right before the tier 2, basically. I think, right? Roughly.
Okay. Right. Okay. That's why I didn't see it then, I guess.
I didn't think he would walk back that. You wanted to walk all the way around and then back to start building the high mechs. Wow.
Yeah,
I'd seen
I
he'd
thought
done
you
that
could
in
build
his
it.
previous rounds, so.
I thought you could build it from the other side, but I guess not.
No, you
Pretty
cannot.
upset when I saw you trying to build it from the other side, because I'm like, for God's sake, Bloody, you've done it the other side every game so far. Come round.
He actually planned out his
you want the-
assassinations. That's kind of crazy. That's wild.
Yeah, it's like a hitman.
Well,
So can you build it on the other side on the other side of the map, or what? Because I feel like I've seen it, but maybe not.
Not sure.
I'm pretty confident you can only build it from the middle side.
Yeah. Yeah, because your commander was like dancing around on the right side for like half a minute trying to make the mech.
Oh, it wasn't half a minute. Come on.
Yeah.
it was a bit. It was a bit. We were watching you dancing a little bit because
Yeah.
we were looking at the mines on the other side and we were hoping.
You were hoping?
Oh, we were absolutely hoping. Don't even
Oh,
act
yeah.
surprised.
Nah, dude.
1000%.
Imagine what a lame end. Like,
Oh,
okay,
come on.
come on, like multiple sides. Okay, once.
No.
I can see, right? It's hype once.
If
The
he
second time? Are you sure, Elliot? Are you sure?
if he gets hit twice, he's actually just built different. I don't know. Like,
What
that's
if next
crazy.
tournament? What if next tournament there's like 5 mine snipes? What done? What done?
Look,
What do you
that
think?
seems like a player problem. As a spectator, that is not my problem. I get to watch the explosions. I get to enjoy it. Oh man. Yeah, I have to say, like that was so far BPL, kind of pretty exciting, pretty fun games, pretty back and forth games. Are you guys how you feeling about the map pool in this BPL? You enjoying the maps? Any favorites? Any standouts?
Yep.
It's good fun.
Yeah, I like this map pool. Originally, Barcast suggested a different map pool. I wasn't a big fan of that one. It was like Avalanche and something. I don't remember.
Yeah, always looking to get some feedback. It's like it can be tough to balance like games that are good for players and spectators. So while keeping it kind of fresh and not using the same maps every time. So it's definitely a challenge.
Yeah, it's nice to see also Aiden not always making new maps, and this new one seems to be pretty good.
Yeah, Postpiles has been, I think, a pretty common map for pretty exciting games in the tournament. I know I've been enjoying a lot of it. I mean, admittedly, a lot of it is Zar on Zar tanks grinding against each other, which you see that once, you've seen it 1,000 times, but still, like it's a lot of pretty good games on that map. I know High Noon
there's
as well,
a
not a
Zar.
popular one.
High Noon is also Zar map.
Oh, post-Zar map, yeah. Although I do wonder if that map had been played more, if it had been a little more fleshed out. I actually wonder how that map would have evolved. But yeah, maybe we'll see it again.
Maybe you could pork the middle. Maybe you could just make some scorpions or something.
Yeah, for sure. I know, oh, man, I'm still just kind of looking at the mines. I don't know. Look, my brain's fried watching that. You have no idea. Barcast, we got any more questions for our winner?
I mean, I would just ask, what do you think contributes the most to your success in these tournaments, Blodir?
Great question.
Just say talent. Just say raw skill.
Well, I do put these days. I didn't used to. I was always like a vibes player, but now I like put a little bit of effort, like a few days before the tourney, to try to figure out what to do on each map, and I think that's just massive.
Yeah, I saw you practicing with Teddy actually in a couple of lobbies.
Yeah, shout out to Teddy. Played a lot with him. I also played with Randy and Raxel and Sash, I guess, as well.
Yeah, our practice games went better. You still won most of them. You still won most, but
I got sniped by the heavy mine against Raxel.
Wait, really?
I did.
Yeah.
It's
That's
quite
the first
funny
time I
that
saw it.
Flying Duck tried that on me yesterday in the semis, because I hadn't seen that Raxel had been doing it or whatever, but I'd like come up with it earlier that week, like trying to fit it in, and then I saw Flying Duck try it against me, and I was like, oh, I just wanted to save this and have it hidden for like semi-finals or finals.
Wait, you both came up with it simultaneously?
Independently, yeah.
Oh, you guys.
Because earlier this week I was trying it against Barcast in private games.
You guys are in for some fun games next BPL, I think. All right, watch your step. Watch your step.
Might be time to skip the next one, I think.
I see Volshock was asking in chat. I know he will yell at me if I don't ask his question. What are you guys thinking on the arm balance here? Like, I know it wasn't played as much in the tournament. Like, there's a few games pulled it out. I know X Factor was saying in BPL Discord, it feels like there's hope for it. What are you guys thinking?
Yeah, overall, pretty weak, but I think there's a couple of circumstances where they can be good. I just didn't want to risk it. I wanted to play meta, because then at least I couldn't like lose to the faction, right? But on like CCR, I think there's promise. I think they lost every time, right? But I think, you know, like if you abuse the blitz speed, like theoretically, it's not that bad. It's pretty good, but I don't know. I didn't want to like do anything too crazy.
That's the reason you see everyone playing core.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what people say about whether arm's good or not. Just look at the games, and that tells you the stuff.
Yeah, I know. You know, we saw some good games on CCR, like Blodir saying, with like armed vehicles looking like there was signs of life, but it did kind of just reach that moment of just incisor dominance. I don't know.
Yeah, and CCR is like actually the perfect map for Blitz as well. So you'd expect them to be good there.
And it still was just kind of like, there was a point where it's just, they're not quite able to do enough. Like, the raids are good, the speed, the repositioning, all of it's good, and there's just not enough damage quite being done to offset, you know, they just can't seem to fight the actual Cortex player at all.
Does the arm need buffed, or is it like, does Cortex need nerfed in some regards? Be curious to know.
Well, it's kind of hard because ARM has the better team game units, like tier 1 units. Ticks and pawns are better, obviously. And pawns are just in general, like in FFAs and so on, right? They just have way more DPS. They're tankier, faster, tank rounds. They're like just way more useful everywhere else except in that specific matchup. So you can't really buff them really easily. And also you can't nerf grunts because they get shredded by incisors.
Yeah,
so yeah, it's a bit more complicated, I think.
Yeah, we kind of saw that during like the last Alpha Cup, right? Like, you know, there was like a brand new patch, nerfing grunts, buffing pawns, and it was almost like a little too much. Like, the meta was still stabilizing a bit, And you know, there was still some hope for Cortex there, but it kind of was just 20 minutes of pawn spam every game, which was a little, you know, maybe not. APM wise, it
Yeah,
was fun
I mean,
to watch, but everything else was a little.
It was fun to watch, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's very very
for the
exciting.
for the specific matchups, you could come up with something like making grunts really good against. I mean, making Centurions really good against grunts. I know they're technically good against them, but they're just too slow, right? So making some changes like that, then you would just make a different unit in a specific matchup. Like, I think that's a good way to go about it. But it's big changes.
Well, all right.
Anyway, I'm going to shoot off. Well played, Blodir.
Yeah, Randy, thank you again
Thanks,
for the
you too.
games.
It's games.
Hopefully we can have maybe Blodir will send this info to maybe some balance consultants, you know, maybe to some balance individuals, and they could work on maybe maybe giving Arm a little signs of life in 1v1. Good luck. I don't envy you that job, you people, whoever you are.
There are already talks.
Oh yeah, I imagine there are. Well, Barcast, is that all we got? We looking good?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to all the casters, all the players, people who've contributed to the prize pool, all that. So I mean, it's not just one person putting together the tournament. It's just about the players, the spectators, everyone who gets involved. It just makes the league what it is. So just want to give a really special thanks to everyone who helped out and participated.
Well, I mean, I totally agree. Like it's been a bit of a group effort, right? But with that, I think we will call it for the day and call it for the tournament. Pretty good tournament, all things considered, and there's even more coming up. So I guess we will see you guys in the next one.